I don't want to make this video. But, okay, I need to give some context. Like a year or maybe more ago, I saw a video of this woman talking about how there's a group of men who only really feel strongly about the first person they fall in love with. And then after that, because it didn't work out well, they never feel the same ever again. And I think it's in the context of like how an avoidant person is made. It made me uncomfortable because I felt very exposed. And it wasn't just this one person; it was a trend. So every video was someone else talking about the same thing, and I had to just get off social media. I had to get off, and I didn't want to go back until this trend died. I rethought about this because yesterday I I was leaving this Korean restaurant. Maybe I'll talk about that in the end. Busan Jeong. Leaving the Korean restaurant, and then I saw someone who kind of looked like my first person. Well, I'll nickname her Fire Emblem friend. Friend is generous. It's more like Fire Emblem acquaintance, but for the sake of the naming schema, I'll just call her friend. I went through like a mini spiral yesterday night, like rethinking about this. Like why did the original video bother me? I think it's for a couple reasons. Anytime someone asks me if I have a type, I always say no. I've never felt like I was lying, but maybe I'm in self-denial. And if Fire Emblem friend is encompasses my type, then also none of my relationships, none of my ex-girlfriends actually are my type at all. Related to that, my past girlfriends have always said things like, "Oh, if you aren't somewhat needy, then you don't truly love the other person." And I've always had the position that's not true, and this is some like weird, like toxic relationship thing. But then now, now that I'm rethinking it, I'm now having doubts. I think it's still not. If it's really bad, I still think it's not necessarily true. But the seeds of doubt have sprouted. I should not be saying any of this in public, by the way. But anyways, yeah, I feel like those are the core reasons maybe that I didn't want to think about the video. Um, Maybe I'm also subconsciously avoiding people who are my type. People who didn't know me at that time would be shocked at how down bad I was. And maybe actually even most people back then, because they didn't know what I was doing. Except maybe with the exception of Aki and then of course Fire Emblem friend herself. I think back then I had the baseline. There's a baseline level of insufferableness where you are needy and annoying, and the way you communicate is just bad. I understand that. Like, I feel like most people have that common experience, but then there's other stuff. There's other stuff that's like a level worse. Where the reason I call her Fire Emblem friend is at that time the new Fire Emblem game came out, and I've never played any of them before. And she would talk about the game with Aki too. I also wanted to understand what she was saying and maybe also talk to her about it too. And so I tried to see if SpongeBob Cousin had the game. He did surprisingly did not. He usually has all the new games, and I think eventually he did get it, but it was too late. But then I was like, wait, I'm the YouTube generation. I don't need to play this game. I could just watch someone else play this game. And so, but there were some problems with this plan. One, for some reason, there was no one YouTube person who just played the whole game regularly. So I had to jump around from person to person because no one has finished the game for whatever reason. And then the second problem was the stuff that Fire Emblem friend was interested in. I feel like we're not related to the main story. it was more the side story stuff where depending on what character you use and what options you choose, you see different events happen. So there's all these like permutations, and so I would watch as many videos as possible so I could see as many permutations as possible. Um, and I watched hours of Fire Emblem videos back then, like late into the night. Also during exams, for which some of them I knew that I was not good at the subject. Like I think one of them was like U.S. history stuff. And in the end, I still failed. I had no idea what she was talking about, and so I couldn't do it. I had some level of shame because one, I didn't ask my aunt for the to buy me the game, which maybe I should make a different MCLog about that. I don't ask her or my mom for things. And then two, I never thought to ask Aki to talk about the game with me or let me borrow the game. But then again, at that time, we did not talk that much. Yeah, it makes me laugh that the now it's an online thing. The performative male who reads Jane Austen in public, but that's stolen valor. I was the original failed performative male. I was watching Fire Emblem videos at 2 a.m. during midterms or whatever. Another that was something. So that was something I did, but I guess just to describe something I felt um, that indicated I was very down bad. But sometimes Fire Emblem friend would make this face where I don't really know how to describe it. It's like when you thinking of something witty or somewhat teasing to say, she would make this face, and it would have such a strong effect on me. I would not be able to directly look at her face. My strategy was I would look at the space right next to her head. So it kind of looks like I'm looking at her, but I'm not actually looking at her. I think I mean maybe some friends hearing this would be shocked. Don't send this to her. I know all of you have her contact information. Don't send this to her. Lego friend, for example, he makes fun of me because he thinks I'm like cold and avoidant. I think if he knew I was did this in the past, he might not even believe what I'm saying at all. This made me think, okay, what should I change? Or should I change anything? And usually, for online people, I don't want to say needy is a negative word. It's a person a person who feels strongly. Speaking on behalf of the group, saying, "Hey, don't trust your feelings." I feel like there's a lot of videos like this, like don't trust your feelings. But there's no one really representing my group, and maybe we should put a little bit more weight in how we feel. For the thing about avoiding the type, that's more difficult because I really don't feel like I'm doing it on purpose, or I'm not even aware if I'm doing it at all. I feel like there's not that many people who fit, I guess, the type or the archetype. In fact, I've never met, well, Fire Emblem is Korean, but I've never met another Korean person who looks like Fire Emblem brand. There's only she has a doppelganger, who is I don't remember her name. She's like the former head pastry chef of like one of Monimoto's like big restaurants. I remember watching that interview. I legitimately thought it was her for a second. I actually did send her that. I sent her that video because during the last time I talked to Fireman Friend was the winter of 2020. I thought I was a little nervous entering the call because it was me. It was me, her ex girlfriend, a kind of a mutual friend, and then I think Dapper and Band Friend were in the call for like a short time. But it turned out like it was a good call, and we were comfortable enough to talk about like some hard things. But that was the last time I ever spoke with Fireman Friend. Yeah, so I went through my mini spiral. Hopefully I can change a little bit after processing. Oh, I can talk about the restaurant a little bit. It's Busan Jeong. That's the place where I met someone who somewhat fits the type. She doesn't really look like Fire Emblem friend, and maybe it's just the long face and the eyes. I don't know. Um, it's a Korean restaurant in Cap Hill, so it's like in the middle of Seattle, and most Korean restaurants in the middle of Seattle are not good. But this is an exception. It's 돼지국밥, which I never grew up eating. I maybe have eaten this one time, but no one in my family really eats it, so I didn't really eat it. But it is pretty good. It's 20 bucks for one soup, which is pretty expensive. I think if my aunt saw this, she would maybe get upset. But it's the middle of Seattle, so what are you gonna do? Yeah, I do recommend. I don't know if it's getting a lot of press, but it probably should be. It's like a very rare good Korean restaurant in the center. Not in, Better Way has a lot of good ones, but I it's a shame that like trash restaurants like Moto Pizza is getting a lot of press, but then not this one. And I ordered the ones with a lot of bones in it. I think that's the one I generally recommend. The other one is more like broth, like more meat in it and like broth. But no, I recommend just the standard order. Dumplings were also really good because it's garlic chives. It kind of tastes more like Chinese dumplings. It's solid pick. The menu is not that big either, so probably can't go wrong with anything on there. Oh, apartment update stuff from the previous MTA log. My bedding stuff, my floor bed stuff came early because my reference for floor bed stuff is from my mom, and she always layers two things. So when I bought this one, I just assumed, oh, this must also be a two-layer bed. But then when I got the cover for this thing, there's a mesh top, so you could see the pattern is really cool for this. I could maybe show it in this photo here. But it's rough. It's kind of rough, so I thought to myself, this is definitely the top layer. Why would they put this rough thing on the top layer? And then I looked it up because this is a Japanese thing. But I looked it up and this is a blanket. So I bought this without knowing what it is, but it works out because this is less hot than my normal blanket up here. So I could just use this during spring, summer, and then I could either store this away and use this or just layer them both. So it all works out. I bought the floor dining table. It's kind of like a long dining table, but also takes a month to arrive. So I'm ordering stuff that takes a long time, but I don't mind waiting. And then, oh, for my failed recording for this yesterday night, because I was way too tired, that laundry hanger thing in the background, after I took my bed down, it immediately broke. So I have to buy. This is a season for buying things that I should have just bought in the first place. I bought one of those laundry hanger things where you're supposed to use it outside. It's like kind of a long one. What I think I'm gonna do is just have it sit kind of lengthwise against my window. It's not really a window, it's more like the whole wall is a window. I don't know how to describe this. And then I bought a bunch of even bigger than this Sterilite containers so I could put off-season clothing, this blanket maybe, and then if I have to, well, I guess I was gonna say if I have to put the bedding away to vacuum and stuff every day, but I could honestly just permanently hang these. I just realized that because you have to hang this type of bed anyways to air it out. And oh, and my steam closet did arrive. I do love using it. for stuff like this, trousers, I might be even able to put the core of the bedding stuff in the steam closet. Because it dehumidifies stuff really well too. It's coming together. I think I consider with the dining table, I consider this 50% of the stuff I should have in this apartment. I have, and if I want to half-ass everything else, I can. And then I'll buy the rest and set up the rest whenever I move. I still don't know. I mean, it's a long time from now. I don't know if I'm actually gonna move, but if I do, I have to get the tech stuff. I think that's the main stuff that's like a pain. Like an actual wardrobe, maybe if I want. But yeah, that's it. Anyways, I just realized like I should not record at night because for the previous MCA log, I was very tired and that video was terrible and I forgot to talk about 1,000 things. But even so, I think it's closer to what the videos are supposed to be, which is just me talking in the open and hopefully feeling okay. That's it. Yeah, I have maybe like one more idea for MCA log. If I cook more, I mean, I don't really cook interesting things. Well, as I say that, I'm making biscuits. I bake a lot more stuff now. But if I do cook more, it might be just for side dishes where I have a bunch. I have too many vegetables because I have to buy stuff for just me, which is a pain. And so I make pickles or other things to get rid of the vegetables. So maybe I'll make something like that. But anyways, that's all for this. See ya.